Hello, thanks for joining me. This video is all about immortelles, which are a grave ornament. Their origin lies in France, where elaborate grave decorations made from beads and wire were popular. The British variety has a wire frame with metallic leaves and porcelain flowers under a glass dome with a wire cage for protection. They seem to have been introduced into Wales in the 1880s and became very popular, particularly amongst chapel goers who were probably unaware of their foreign and Catholic origins. Their popularity persisted, and they were added to graves in the early 20th century, perhaps even as far as into the 1930s. This advert from the 1880s describes them as porcelain and metallic wreaths with or without glass shades. They were available in various sizes with wired decorations, usually a small plaque for a message. The white flowers are lilies, carnations, roses and forget-me-nots. Other typical decorations include a porcelain dove or that Victorian favourite, the clasped hands. The leaves are either a ferrous metal or tin or lead type and were originally painted. Traces of paint show green and gold were the usual colours. The flowers were always left a ghostly white. Welsh newspaper reports of funerals have frequent mentions of immortelles being sent as a tribute to the deceased by family members, work colleagues, bands of hope and other temperance movements, and in the case of children's funerals by classmates at schools or Sunday schools. They are often referred to in these reports simply as a glass shade or artificial wreath and globe, or a beautiful wreath in a glass shade. The glass shade itself was an optional extra, and sometimes newspaper reports just mention a permanent wreath or an artificial wreath, which may or may not have included the dome and wire cage. Whilst many people found them a lasting reminder of the regard in which their loved ones were held, some, particularly Anglican clergy, criticised them as hideous, bad taste and dangerous when broken. They were even banned or removed by some clergymen. In the chapel cemeteries of West Wales, however, they still remain. Some date from the day of the funeral, others were added years afterwards on Flowering Sundays. Flowering Sunday, Sul y Blodau, is Palm Sunday and is a tradition still observed. It goes back several hundred years, and the Welsh have visited their deceased loved ones to put flowers on their graves in many ways over the years. Originally, wild spring flowers were strewn. Later, more elaborate decorations were added. In South Wales, in the late 19th and early years of the 20th century, tens of thousands of people thronged to cemeteries of the larger towns just to see the displays. Also on Flowering Sunday, the grave would be weeded and the headstone and footstones were painted with whitewash. The graveyards would have shone with the brightness of the limewash and looked quite different to the sombre dark memorials we see today. Limewash is temporary and the weather strips it away, but at Llanfihangel in Carmarthenshire there are two slate headstones which show what the effect of the whitewash would have looked like. Following tradition but using a more modern paint, someone has painted their family headstones, and it being an oil-based paint, it survived. As far as I know, these are unique. If you know of any other examples, please tell me in the comments. I hope you found this video interesting. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you. Diolch yn fawr.